Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Rush Racing League here in round number 10. I will be your host today, Kowsy Wowsy, also known as K-House, also known as K-Smouse. I've got a lot of names, but I'll be your host today for the first time, making my Rush Racing hosting debut. So please be kind. I appreciate all the kind words, and if there's any issues, feel free to let me know. And I'll be hopefully on top of it and adjusting as we go. To my left, figuratively, I have a good friend of mine that'll be helping us out here with the comms today. We have Connor Webby here to give us a hand. How you doing tonight, Connor?
Oh, living the dream, mate. Living the dream. Another day here at Rush, ready for another amazing race around Qatar. Cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I've commentated the last two. I think I did the reserve and the Div1, and Div1 was a little bit of a DRS train, I won't lie, but hopefully we can see some more action here tonight. We've got a lot of great competitors, some good friends of mine that'll be racing here tonight, so we'll be on board and having a look and see who will be on top here in Qatar at the Lower Sale International Circuit. It's going to be an interesting one, Connor. Any hot tips or takes that you've got for tonight's action?
Well, Chaos it's Div4, so we could have the 1% chance of rain happen. Div4 has had a bit of a pattern with the rain. But we do have some interesting races here tonight. I reckon you'll see a good display here from QuicksilverDec. He's been very, very consistent these last few weeks, along with Mitchell. And along with a returnee, Sonny Bray, which will be interesting to see how he goes today.
Yeah, Sonny Bray, he's been around the block from what I'm hearing, so we'll see how he can fare tonight. Hopefully that's adjusted there, Winter. If there needs to be more adjustments, feel free to let me know. But yeah, we're going to be jumping on board here with our Division 4, and we'll be loading into the session in a moment's notice. But yeah, very, very keen to get this night up and going. So any sort of hot takes in the chat, feel free to let us know. We'll keep a keen eye on the chat tonight, unlike as I did in Div1, but that's alright. We won't talk about that. I was getting a bit of flack from some individuals about it, but that's okay. I will see if I can turn up my mic, and maybe it can get a little bit more for you fellas there. Maybe that will be a bit better. How does that sound, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully that will make it a bit better for you.
Mine, it sounds better.
Beautiful. Okay, I think we're on there. Let me change over to the racetrack and see what we've got going on over here. Again, feel free to let me know about what you guys think. Good, better, beautiful. All right, awesome. Okay. Again, I do apologize. This is the first time that I'm hosting, so if there are any quirks or things that I can adjust, feel free to let me know. I will do my absolute best to give you guys the best quality outcome and product tonight. But yes, this is my first time, so please be a bit kind. All right, we're jumping into the session. Let's rattle off some of these drivers, shall we? Let's have a quick discussion about the Alpine drivers. Soup for Duck, obviously the individual who came over from Division 5. He was tearing it up and now is a full-time driver in the Alpine spot alongside, it looks like a reserve driver of Mitchell. I'm not familiar with him. Is he a reserve, Connor? Are you familiar with him?
Who?
Mitchell 2294 from Alpine. Is he a reserve?
No, that's Big Mitch himself. The currently in a championship race, I actually believe.
Wow, unreal, phenomenal. I'm surprised I haven't heard of him. But we'll continue on with some of the other drivers here. We got the Haas drivers of Krudakama and Jenneth Lee, who will be rounding out the Haas team. Aston Martin will have Blue alongside Brian as well to partner them up tonight. We'll also head over to the Ferrari. Muzz will be fielding that lineup with QuicksilverDec. Saubers will have Nay Ashay as well as Drew Zilla Killer. The Williams will have Moe Nabs and Miniman to round off their lineup. Red Bull will have Patrick and Governor. And the McLarens will have Flying Kiwi and Sonny Bray, and of course the RBs with Com United and Trio Kev. I think that is everyone on the lineup. So that will round out your entire grid for tonight. Any sort of hot tips and takes? Any individuals you're looking out for tonight, Connor?
Yeah, I think we'll see a very interesting display of a grid this week. I reckon Of course, 2 championship people, Mitchell and Devo. But we also had a very good outings from the Williams last week as well. The Williams had a very strong week, and they've actually been getting a bit more consistent. So I definitely think we could actually have maybe a 3 or 4 car race this weekend for the podium.
Yeah, I like that. It looks like we'll be jumping on board. I was looking at Flying Kiwi, but he might have been valid. Oh no, this is his outlap. So we'll see what Flying Kiwi can do in his first run. We'll jump on board with him, Connor, if you want to flick over to him and give us a little play-by-play, a little bit of analysis on his lap as he does his first lap around Qatar.
So Qatar, I'm actually in love with this track. I used to be. I haven't done many laps here for a while, but looking forward to it. So let's see how Flying goes on his first flying here. Flying on a flying. So we'll see how he goes. You want to hug that left-hand side. That left-hand side is your smoothest part of your track, and you want to be able to make that line so you can swing it straight in, take as much of this curb as you can without getting that car over-rotated and spinning. Then clean it back up, swing it back into the left before this is a very fun part of the circuit, the double right. So you got the first right, you follow this down. You can actually hold it a little bit later than you think, swing the car in like Flying's on there, swing it in the next, and now the tricky part of the circuit, the hairpins. 2 of these, I think, and you got to make sure you get these right. If you don't get these right, your lap's going to be a little bit hurt there first on, but he's got that right. He's got a decent little amount of ERS as well. This is a very difficult but very important part of the circuit here as well. This little fast chicane, really good for MotoGP, quite difficult for F1, but he does navigate that very well. And he's going to pull it out, go over to the right, not too much, and burn that ERS. Get the ERS on. Around this corner, you want to get back down to 6th gear, swing the car in. Down, and I would be taking this in 6th. You actually can actually gain about 3 or 4 tenths in 6th. But he holds the line, he brings it back down, he's going to get the car straightened up. And we'll have a look at the ERS. He has got enough ERS, so it's going to be very interesting. And now he's going to bring the car to the line. Can he beat the 21.9, which is currently in first? And he's going to go a 23.0.9, so definitely more time left in the map.
Yeah, agreed. It's still a good lap for Flying Kiwi. 23 is still decent, good banker, but yeah, hopefully he can improve on that, potentially fight further up the field. Yeah, there's a lot of individuals that will be heading out for their outlaps. Is there any individuals you want to keep your eye on right now? You got anyone that you want to have a look at that's on a lap at the moment?
I'm sure. I think we could possibly go for no, he's not starting his for a while. Who's just started a lap? Should we go on with Devo? Devo's in sector 1.
We can
First ever race in the Mercedes, so we'll see how he goes. He's gone purple sector 1 apparently. I'm not sure if that's because it's his first lap, but we'll see. You know, it looks pretty good for him. He's going to make sure he gets the car right tonight. He does take that corner very nicely, actually. It looks a little bit better than Flying's, but we'll have to see what the times say. And he doesn't take too much. He takes a really nice amount of curb there. I'm actually quite shocked. Making this look easy right now. But he's going to bring the car in. He's using the ERS perfectly amount. Coming through in 7th gear with the ERS on. So very interesting. Holds the car in the line somehow. I actually don't know how he's done that there.
Oof.
So he's going to bring the car up to the line. He's going to run it over the line. And what time are we going to see here by the Mercedes driver? It's going to be 22.7 and just goes ahead of Flying.
Yeah, it's not a bad lap at all. But of course, right now our pole setter is blue with that 21.6. I think he did pull that off while we were having a chat just then, or he's actually pulling into the pits there. But yeah, very, very interesting first few laps. A bit of a difference with the lap times at the moment, about 2 seconds difference across the board. But hopefully we can get that a little bit closer together, and we'll see how these fellas will fare. Very interested to have my keen eye on QuicksilverDec. Of course, I raced against him in Division 5 for the last remaining few rounds, so I've got a bit of a keen eye on him and seeing how he fares and against more difficult competition theoretically, is going up from Division 5 to Division 4. So I'll have a keen eye on him. He was very, very competitive in Div 5, of course. Him and I had a great battle at China. He did come out second best, I will say that on stream, so I did end up winning that race. But he's very, very strong driver, though. Not to take away anything from him. He's definitely one to watch in this division for me specifically. So I'm very interested to see how he goes.
Yeah, it will be indeed. It's going to be very interesting as we got Scott Patrick back into the session as well. So it's good to see. And everyone has almost set a lap now. So it's very interesting. Who do you reckon is going to go out for our pole tonight, Kaus?
It's a good question. Truthfully, I'll be completely honest. I'm not too familiar with a lot of these drivers in this division. Of course, I'm friends with Gov, so I've got a bit of a key eye on him. Obviously, my Williams teammates in Minmare and Moe. You know, Moe and I were doing some practice before tonight. We're just testing out some more setups before he had his big showing here tonight. So I do fully expect Moe to be very competitive, and I want to see obviously my Williams teammate be very strong tonight. So I want him to be successful. But yeah, other than that, I know Quicksilver is someone that I raced against. I want to say a season or two ago. He was quite strong. I wouldn't be surprised if he was at the top of the timing boards as well. Yeah, a lot of individuals that I think can be very competitive in this division, Connor.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting tonight, I definitely feel. And you know who we haven't spoken about yet, who has done very well coming up from Div4, is Naya Eshe, up there in P8 again. So he had a good week last week, and he's seeming to be doing the same again this week.
Yeah, had a great performance. I'm not too sure if I remember racing him specifically in Div5. Of course, I came in at the latter end of Division 5. But yeah, good to see him being very competitive in Division 4. It is a bit of a step up, so good to see him up and amongst the pack and not just being another number in the division. That's always what you want, right, Connor? You want to have a good distribution of drivers across the division so that it is still competitive. There is still some battles that you need to be wary of in terms of the drivers that you consistently come up against. So we'll see how we go. We got Trio Kev on Lap Symphonic has requested to have a keen eye on him. We'll see how he goes. It doesn't look like he went purple Sector 1, but we'll see how he can get out of Sector 2. Does have a decent amount of ERS on board and burns down to about 40% until the triple right-handers here as he flows through them quite nicely. Rides those curbs quite planted as well, this car. Doesn't seem too quirky, too out of the ordinary. Doesn't have that back stepping out as maybe some other cars I've seen tonight so far. Does have a lot of ERS going to the start-finish, so maybe something that he can adjust in his next run to maybe get more lap time. But 22.2 is not a bad time at all, Connor.
No, and someone I think we have to keep an eye on is Brian on PC. He just invalidated his lap, but he was at this moment 3/10 up, and he had set purple Sector 1. So I think we could see possibly a 4-5 car race here for pole.
Yeah, I like this. I'm enjoying this so far. It's very much tightened up at the top in terms of the timing boards, and there's not like a clear, distinct individual that looks to be far and away. Very, very competitive grid so far. That's what you like to see. But we'll keep our eyes peeled until the end of qualifying to make sure that we can get a good look at who gets that pole position. I do want to jump on board selfishly with Moe Nabs and see how he fares in his lap going into this weekend. I really think that Moe has a lot of pace on this track. As I mentioned, I did some reps with him before tonight, and he was rapid, very quick. Even with some of the setup adjustments that we did, he was very, very good. So we'll see how it goes. Is there an echo? I apologize. No. I think it might be me. It might be just my headset. It might be what.
Well, I got some sad news for you, Kaus.
Tell me, what's the sad news?
We've had an emergency call up, and I'm actually going to have to go. Because H-Town's not going to be able to get in, so I'm going to have to fulfill the seat again tonight.
No worries at all, Connor. We'll appreciate you jumping in. I will hold the fort and do my absolute best, mate. But all the best tonight. And
thank you, and hopefully enjoy the race.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
I'll be at the back, so you know where to find me.
No worries. Catch you later, Connor. All right, so we will see how Moe goes. He did invalidate his lap. Is there still that echo that's going on? I do apologise if there is. Feel free to let me know. I'll try my best to fix it. As mentioned, this is the first time I am hosting the race, so I will do my absolute best. But there might be some quirks and issues that I might have to fix along the way. So just bear with me as much as you can, ladies and gentlemen, but appreciate you all sticking around. Let's see how the rest of this session goes. Wonder how much time is left on this session. No one validated across it. It's alright, Sonny. You just got to lock back in, mate, and just see if you can get another time on the board. Got a Haas coming around. Looks like he just finished his lap. So, United Drewzilla Killer hasn't put in a lap yet. Neither has Minmay. I think maybe Drew is serving a qualifying ban. I'm not too sure. But let's see what United can do. He hasn't set a time yet, and he has invalidated again. That's not what you want to see. You want to be able to at least get a banker down before you get to the crucial parts of qualifying. So that's a bit unfortunate for the RB squad, as Trio Kev did put in a really good lap time. So we'll see how we go. Looks like Drew is out on track, so maybe he can get in a reflective time. We do have 5 minutes left of qualifying, so this will be some important points. Very bizarre for Drew to come out at this point in time. I think you'd probably want to wait a little bit later if it was me, but we'll see how he goes. Good luck. Appreciate it, Dirt. Thanks very much, mate. I'll let you know. I actually need to open up my Discord just in case I do get abused by individuals to fix things. Again, I know I've said it multiple times, but just doing my best here, ladies and gents. I'll do what I can. Let's see what Drew can do on his first lap of the session, going into 4 minutes. It's not what you want to see, but hopefully he can put in a reflective time that gets him further up the grid. While he goes around, I'll just quickly rattle off that we do have QuicksilverDec at the top of the timing boards with the 21.6 and Blue not too far behind him. Mitchell in position number 3 as it stands with the 21.9, and Brian matching him pretty much in 4th position. The first of the 22s is Patrick in P5 and Naya Eshe in P6, Moe in P7, Devo P8, Trio Kev P9, and Jeneth P10. Let's see what our friend Drewzilla Killer can do on this lap. He's going to go into the first turn and use a bit of ERS coming out into turn number 2. No invalidations as of yet, so hopefully he can keep it all nice and tidy and in between the white lines. Coming into sector number 2. Let's see how he fares in this section of racetrack. Does get the turn in nice and tidy and gets the power down. We'll need to just swing into this right-hander. Maybe could ride that curb a little bit more aggressively if he's looking for each and every bit of time, but he has invalidated, so I understand the caution. Has used a lot of ERS in this beginning part of the lap, so hopefully he can be able to hold on to most of it going into the last sector. He has gone purple in sector 2, so that is something to keep in mind. But can he hold on and finish off the lap? Does look really slow through this sector, I won't lie. But we'll see what the timing board says at the end of the lap as he puts the power down and crosses the start finish. And does go into P14, a 23 flat is what we are seeing here. He needs an invite, Connor. Well, he was just here, mate. What's he doing? He needs to switch on. I think I've got him, so I can invite him. There we go. Connor's got an invite, mate. He should be able to get into the session now. All right. Excuse me. Going to the business end, ladies and gents. And this is where all the marbles are down. This is where you need to get the lap time in. This is where you can push it to the absolute limit. As you've already got a lap time down. Of course, these bottom 3 guys don't have a lap time yet. Connor, of course, probably won't be able to get a reflective time, unfortunately. But we'll see how everybody else fares going into the remaining stages of qualifying. Sonny Bray that is coming through the final turn to finish his lap. Let's see where he goes. Ooh, very, very snappy on the back end there. Not very planted. That's not what you want to see. Goes up to position number 11. Let's see who else can get some lap times down. I think we've got an Aston Martin that might be coming through. No, sorry, that will be Brian that'll be starting his lap. Let's jump on board with him and see how he goes with his final lap of qualifying. Gets the turn in nice and tight on the right-hand side. Going to get that ERS down to 68%. Tuck it in nice and tidy with the left-hander. Gets the power down and is zooming through Sector 1. Gets on the power and gets the turn in nice and tidy. Ooh, that was very, very aggressive over the curbs there and will invalidate on his lap and won't be able to improve, unfortunately. Let's jump on board with Moe and see what he can do. And we'll see if he can improve on his already really good lap. A 22-1 is very, very competitive. But I know he's got more in the tank and I know he'll want to show more. So let's see what he can do. Tidy turn in there on the left-hander. Very, very tight. Let's see how he can manage the next few sections of racetrack. Very, very slow on the power there a little bit. Maybe the traction control kind of stopping him from getting on the power as much as he would want. But still very, very tidy through this section of racetrack. Is using a decent amount of ERS through Sector 2. We did see, I think it was Sunny we're on board with. No, sorry, it was United that was using a lot of ERS through the middle sector and did go purple, but didn't get a lap time down. Gets the turn in nice and tidy with that left-hander. Does have a little bit of ERS to use, but not a lot for this start-finish. Gets it up to about 11%. There's an issue in Sector 1, but it might be just the car going slow. Moe will go up to position number 3 at 21.70. Is very, very competitive. So great lap from Moe. We'll see how other people will go through the remaining parts of qualifying. I think I do see a Red Bull coming through the final section of a racetrack. Let's see how he can go. This will be Z Governor coming through to finish his lap. Let's see how he goes. He will only jump up to P14, and it looks like Flying Kiwi got to position number 11. There's a Mercedes coming through of Devo. He will stay position number 9. I think there's an Alpine that was going slow on the start here. Maybe he had an invalidation, so he will no longer be competing in this qualifying session. QuicksilverDec will come through to finish his lap. Does go top of the timing boards. Really, really competitive lap. Blue will not improve. He has in fact invalidated. So that will more than likely be your order. And Muzz is going into the pits as he has also invalidated his lap. So your pole position holder will be QuicksilverDec for the time being, unless there's some penalties that will come through. Highly unlikely, but really good lap from QuicksilverDec, 21.5. Very, very strong lap. And Blue in position number 2 with a very similar lap time. And Moe jumps up the timing boards from P7 to position number 3. Really, really great qualifying session from him. Trio Kev also did a great improvement as well. And Mitchell will be position number 5. I'm not sure if he improved his lap. So that's your qualifying, by the way. Really, really strong showing from all of the individuals. And we'll see how we go. Alright, let's rattle off the grid. QuicksilverDec is your position number 1 holder. Blue will be 2. Moe Nabs number 3. Trio Kev position number 4. Mitchell will be position 5. Brian position number 6. Jeneth will be position 7. Patrick 8th. Neon Eshe 9th. And Soup for Duck 10. And to round out the remaining last few positions will be Devo, Flying Kiwi, Sunny Bray, United, Crew to Karma, Z Governor, Drew Zilla Killer, Muzz is Big, and Connor, as well as Min May. So that will be the remaining positions for the Grand Prix, and we'll see how these guys will go in the race. Alright, looks like we'll be having an individual that will be joining us here in the comms box. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce to you the one, the only, the sideline yapper as much as I am. It is Durr, mate. How you doing?
Very good yourself, Cass. Very happy to be joining you here. We're about to see Connor out on the track, so it'll be something interesting now. So, how are you feeling so far about how your team's gone?
I'm very happy. I know that Moe Nabs had the pace. Of course, my team is Williams, so good to see that he got the lap time down when it mattered, and he got position number 3. But we'll see how he goes in the race. Doesn't matter where you start; it's all about where you finish here, dude. Do you need an invite into the sesh, by the way?
No, I've already got in here. My boys
beautiful.
got me in here, so...
You're all over it, mate. I love that. Big fan. Oh, yeah. All right, well, I'll kick us off with the race start, and we'll see how these guys go. I'll be honest, I do need to duck quickly to the kitchen and get myself another drink because I've already gone through my cup of water that I had next to me. But that's all right. I'll manage that on my own. Very interesting race so far. Of course, this can be a bit of a DRS train when we get to the start of the race, but of course, these drivers are all very, very competitive and they want to get as many positions as possible. So I think we'll be seeing a lot of overtakes at the start of the race as they get their setups ready to rock and roll, make sure they got their tire pressures right, getting the setups all Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and we'll be kicking off in just a moment's notice, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 5 red lights here at Qatar, and we'll be off and ready to go as it looks like QuicksilverDec will have the start. Very, very well done. Moe gets position number 2, and Mitch is just behind him in position number 3, trying to get the run on Moe on the outside. Might be able to tuck in, but doesn't look like he did so. There's been some incidents at the back, a lot of scuffling around here, and Patrick is turned around the wrong way and will look to have some sort of front wing damage, unfortunately. Did come into some collisions there at the beginning of the Grand Prix. Blue has lost some positions as well, fighting with Trio Kev, and it looks like Super Duck and Flying Key will be making some positions as well as Minmay on this starting lap. But Trio Kev trying to get the move done on Blue, but will not make it happen. Some battling near the back here between some of these fellas. Sonny Bray looks to be all over the back of Naya Eshe to try to make the move on the inside, but won't get the nose turned in. Z Governor looks to make a move on Connor as well. Drew Zilla Killer will be at the back of that pack, but the individuals that look to come out second best look to be Minmay, Muzz, and Patrick, so they'll need to make up some time as they head on to the rest of the race here.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for me there to see Patrick drop back that little bit, but I think we all know that he's got the pace to make them up. So do the other boys as well. The race is a long way from done here, so we'll just have to wait and see how things go. But what's your thoughts so far, Kaos?
Yeah, it's very, very it's very exciting to see a lot of overtakes early on as some individuals in the midfield are making some moves on their fellow compatriots. Looks like Sonny Bray made a move and Brian made a move as well. But our first 2 pit stop placement holders will go to Devo and Muzz. They look to be changing over some boots, getting some fresher compound tires, maybe getting a nose change for good measure as well. So they will need to get back on track and start making up some time. But QuicksilverDec looks to be trying to break the DRS to Moe, and Moe has clearly broken the DRS to Mitch to start this race here tonight. So great start from the front 2 runners there. Mitch will probably wanting to try his best to get back amongst the front runners and see if he can make some moves. And we'll see how they fare. What's your thoughts so far? Is there anything that you've spotted from your end so far at the beginning of this race?
Those front 3, well, the front 2 have really broken away, and at the moment Blue's keeping up with Mitchell, but then there's another decent gap back to Trio Kev. Did look like he was going to be out of DRS, but we'll have to wait and see. I think he may have just got it. No, Trio Kev does not get the DRS. Oh no, he does. He does. It must have just been within that there, but the gaps. There's not a lot of gaps across the field until we get back to about P17 down there with Minmay, about 7 seconds behind, as we see him go into the pits as well. But out the front here, you've just got domination from Quicksilver, followed by Moe just behind him, and then there's 2.5 seconds back to Mitchell, which is quite surprising to see after what we've seen from Mitchell so far this season. It's been really, majority of the season's been a 3-way battle between Quicksilver, Mitchell and Patrick, and a few times there Moe's been there, but today Patrick's nowhere to be seen and Moe's well up in there.
Yeah, good performance from Moe so far and putting in those lap times to keep himself in the fight. We did see some moves there on screen for Sonny Bray. Looked like he came off second best with a fight with, I think it was Brian, but I might not be too sure there. Min May has also gone to the pits to fit those hard compound tires and might have had a nose change to boot as well. I didn't get my my eyes on that, but yeah, this front runners, they seem to be quite competitive, but Mitch seems to be losing a little bit of time to Blue, and Blue will be wanting to make this move done as soon as possible as we come across the start finish line and jump on board with Blue and see if he's got that DRS ready to rock and roll. He does indeed. Is building up a little bit of speed to Trio Kev. Might try to make the move around the outside here alongside Trio Kev as they go side by side into turn number 2, but he's later on the brace and seemed to make that move in front of Mitch. So well done by Blue to get that move done up into position number 3. I'll be looking to chase down Moe. I think I might have said Trio Kev, unfortunately, there. Sorry, apologies. But yes, that was Blue who made the move. Great move, and we'll hopefully get the lap times down to get further up the field.
Yeah, Moe's unfortunately already gone out and got himself a 3 second. In saying that, he is almost 3 seconds ahead of Blue, but it's very, very early in the race to be going out and getting that penalty. It's not an ideal start for Moe there, although he does have the track position. Penalties can hurt very quickly, especially if we get a late safety car.
Yeah, that is spot on there. That could very much change the complexion of the race very quickly. Sorry, I just need to check something. Apologies. I just need to fix that. I think that might have... nope, that did not fix what I wanted to fix. Sorry, apologies. I will make sure this is fixed. Sorry, people. Yeah, I'll just...
If you come down to P5, you're about to see Trio Kev. It looks like he's going to have a shot at Mitchell, I think, although it doesn't seem like he's going to have the battery. Or maybe the wings, for that matter, because Mitchell is streaking away, and it actually looks like Soup might have a dive on Trio Kev here. No, it doesn't quite get in by the end of the straight, but that's very interesting. He's in a bit of an alpine sandwich there, Trio Kev.
Yeah, it's not where you want to be, especially in between two drivers that are teammates as well. Wants to try to get the move done as soon as possible and move it on. He's on those harder compound tires though, so he just needs to probably be a little bit more, I'd say, optimistic and cautious with his decision making and not do anything that might compromise his race, as he'll be going a lot longer than QuicksilverDec, who is on those medium compound tires to start his race here. But Brian looks to have a bit of pace on him, so he might be able to make a move in this midfield to try to get some positions further up the field, especially on the harder compound tire as well. That might be a bit interesting to see a driver be a little bit faster on a harder compound, so maybe the medium's starting to fall off a little bit earlier than anticipated, and could be seeing the harder compound runners start to make some moves on the medium runners.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine we'd quite see that for probably another 4 or so laps, I think, before the mediums even start thinking about falling off. But it is also very dependent on track temperatures. The hotter the track, the quicker the mediums will come into it, and the quicker the hards will come into it, and the quicker the mediums will go out. But I'm not exactly sure on track temps tonight. As we do see Mitchell gets the move done on Blue, and Mitchell's going to be back off now, and it'll be interesting to see whether Blue can get back past him later onwards or not. But those two out the front are really starting to streak away. It's 6 seconds between Quicksilver and Mitchell, and Moe's just got himself in the middle. As we see Naya get a 3 seconds. Seems to be a few penalties across the board so far there, Chaos.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of them as the night goes on. Looks like QuicksilverDec is looking to get a move done on Trio Kev as we speak as well. Around the outside in Sector 2, that's not a very normal place you see a move to get completed here. They're still going side by side, but Soup eventually does get that move completed, and Trio does concede position number 5. Jeneth also gets a move on Trio as well, and we'll go up to position number 6. So Trio might be having some issues with the harder compound tires at the moment. Might not have the pace, might be running into some issues. But yeah, very, very... Ooh, we saw an RB just go completely off the line. Very, very ambitious from Com United. We'll see how he can continue to stay in between the white lines and hopefully not get himself a 3-second. But looks like Brian and Trio Kev going side by side into turn number 1. Can Brian get the move done on Trio Kev? We saw 2 moves get done on Trio Kev beforehand, and another one has been completed. 3 places down in 1 lap for Trio. That is not what you want to see for the RB boys, and might need to have a look at some changes with some strategies and potentially maybe some front wing damage potentially, but I don't see any dirt.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he's just struggling a bit. Could be setup related, causing a bit of tyre wear. It'll be interesting to see how many guys are on 2 stops and how many guys are on 1 stops, because I know it is a quite aggressive tyre wear track, and a setup can dictate very much what you do around here by the seams of it. How many cars do you think will be on a 2-stop tonight?
Truthfully, I did watch the Div1 race. I don't think I saw a 2-stop. I think there was a 2-stop mainly because there was a safety car on lap 2, but I don't think that counts. But yeah, I'll be very surprised if someone actually does go for a 2-stop, because I just think the time loss that you will get will be quite significant if you were to do one, and you won't be able to build it back up as the lap goes on, in my opinion. But who knows? These drivers might have a different idea. They are Div4 drivers, I am a Div5, so they could have a little bit more of an idea of what's going on, and they could potentially get the 2-stop to work on this track. Just got my eyes on Blue here. Looks like he's not going to be able to make a move on this occasion, but Brian's got a lot of pace here in this stint, this section of racetrack in lap 8 on these hard compound tyres. He's already closed up to Jeneth in 1 lap and might be looking for a move in the near future. Sorry to cut you off there, Dur, but it looks like also Governor is coming in for a pit stop change. Might have to get a new nose as well, and is looking to maybe even pull off that 2-stop as we were talking about, Dur.
Yeah, the 2-stop's not necessarily seen in Div 1 due to their ability to save tyres. In the lower divs, people aren't quite as good at saving tyres, and it can cause the issue of needing to do a 2-stop. It's not necessarily a pace advantage, it's more or less just the fact that you can't get the tyres to last long enough. So that's where the question arises from. Ideally, you'd be on a 1-stop, but some people's tyre wear will not allow them to do that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do, 100%. That is a very fair question to put forward and a fair statement to say. Just quickly heading over to the penalties as requested. We do have 10 seconds on Devo. He's in position number 17 anyways as well, so I would say that his night is pretty much near over in this early stages. Unfortunate for him and for the Mercedes team. Connor as well on a 3-second, Kruder Karma as well, and Naya Eshe as well as our position number 2 sitter Moe Nabs on a 3-second. As we're going through, we have Brian in a battle with Jeneth, and he made a move for position number 6. Brian is cutting through the field tonight, absolutely putting on some moves, and is very, very racy in that Aston Martin, unlike in real life at the moment. So maybe if you're an Aston Martin fan, you're looking for some solace in your support, you can head over to Rush Racing League and see Brian and Blue put on a great performance so far. Speaking of which, let's see if Blue can make a move on this occasion, on this lap. But it looks like Naya Eshe is in a battle with Sonny Bray, going for position number 10. Up on the inside, Sonny Bray, a little bit of side-by-side action heading into sector number 2. Naya Eshe has to take evasive action, but still is fighting that position number 10. Switchback by Sonny Bray. What a move by him. Looks like they're still side-by-side here. They're going at it for position number 10. Naya Eshe does kind of push him a little bit off the track. That was slightly naughty from the Sauber driver, but see how they fare as they go into the start-finish straight. I know I was talking about the front runners, but I do want to keep my eyes peeled for this position number 10 spot as Sonny Bray and Naya Eshe going head-to-head for this P10 position here.
Yeah, just speaking up the front quickly there, Blue has gone and got himself a 3-second. That's not ideal for him as well. But anyway, if we just keep down here on Sonny Bray, he's had to sit back on Naya, as I do believe Trio Kev has got back past Jeneth Lee now. So he'll be trying to get back on his way.
Sorry there, Dur. Yeah, you are
Yeah,
correct.
sorry,
He
you
did
go.
make a move. Yep, sorry there. He did make a move on Trio Kev to get that position back. So hopefully he can maybe look to fight Trio Kev into the start finish and get that position straight back. Go on, Dur.
Yeah, I'm not so sure now because we're starting to get to the point where those mediums are probably gonna fall off a little bit in comparison to the hards, and we're seeing Trio Kev. He's starting to get close to the back of Brian, who's really just sitting under that gearbox of the Alpine and Superduck. So I wouldn't be so sure that we do see that position back, as I really think we're at that medium fall-off point. What's your thoughts, Cass?
Yeah, I think this is where the mediums are very, very worse off in comparison to the harder compound tyre. Of course, it depends on how long you've been on those mediums for. Maybe if you've just pitted recently, but all of our medium runners are on 9-lap old tyres, so we'll see how long it takes for them to duck into the pits to make that decision to change boots. I think it'll be in the next few laps here, if I'm being completely honest. I think we're seeing them darting in very, very
We
shortly.
see Moe. Moe's in.
Moe is into the pits very, very early for Moe. I think that was part of the strat, maybe, to get track position here, potentially. He might feel the need to get some clean air and see if he can get some lap times down. It does look like he might have to pass Connor. Does go out behind him, so maybe just one position to make, but we'll have clean air after he gets past Connor.
Yeah, I might nearly think he might be on a two-stop here. Obviously, you'd have more insight than I would, but just with how early he's pitted, those hards, we saw it with Lamb in, I believe, Div4 it was. He got a puncture on 2 sets of different tyres there. So, not an ideal race for him, but there is a decent chance of a puncture. So, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if you're willing to share any insight. Don't give away the team strategies or anything, but...
No, definitely not. There's no insights that I can give here, if I'm being completely honest. But I think it is close to the strategy that we did discuss, but not perfect, not what exactly we discussed. But we'll see how he manages it and see if he can maybe make it to the point that he needs to make it to, so that he can be very competitive in this race. But I think he's just mainly looking for clean air and looking to try to get some lap times down, looking to try to get into a better position. As we start to see the field starting to duck into the pits here. We got QuicksilverDec, United also into the pits.
United, he's on the hards.
Yes.
And he's going in. That's interesting. He must be on a two-stop, I'd say, as well.
Yeah, I think he was also he's one of the 2 RBs that might be struggling so far on those setups, as maybe we were discussing before. Potentially could have some issues with how they've decided to set up their cars for this race. But yeah, I do agree that it's quite bizarre. I think he's locked into his 2-stop here tonight because he'll need to make that move. He'll need to change tyres again because he's gone on 2 hard compound tyres. We'll need to have another set of tyres to complete the Grand Prix. So he's locked in there, and hopefully he can make it work. Let's see if how our front runner's going. QuicksilverDec is still at the front, 7 seconds from Mitchell and Blue. Of course, they still have stops to make, as we know that Moe is currently the leader of the first stop runners at the moment.
We've been asked for a gap to leader there by Lamb.
Yeah, I did have it up for a little bit, so hopefully they can...
oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Hopefully they can do the math and they can get to a conclusion, as it looks like our race leader is into the pits as we speak, and see where he will come out in comparison to Moe. As Moe is coming around the final corner here, let's see how they go. Quicksilver might be able to still be ahead. It looks like he will still have a decent amount of time to Moe. So good stuff from QuicksilverDec, good first stint, and see how they will fare for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, now that we see the whole grid on hards, how many of these guys do you think will have to stop again? Like, obviously some of these guys haven't stopped yet, but out of the back end there, you see some of them that are on some decently old tyres. How do you think they're going to be stopping again, or do you think they're going to try and extend it, as per se?
Yeah, well, I think United will need to make that need to make another pit stop, as we discussed before, because he has gone on a second set of hard compound tyres. So there still will be a decent amount of drivers on the grid that look to be going for a 2-stop, but he's locked in. He has to go for a 2-stop. There's no two ways about it. He'll need to make that other stop so that he can finish the Grand Prix on 2 different sets of tyres. But yeah, it's not a strategy, truthfully, that I think is very competitive, but who am I to say? They're the ones driving. We'll see how they fare and see if they can make it work. But yeah, I do think, in my opinion, that the 1-stop is faster than the 2-stop, but we'll see what happens and see how they navigate it. Looks like there's a battle here for the lead, actually, as it looks like Mitchell will be trying to get a position on Brian, but of course, Brian is probably, in my opinion, the driver of the day so far. Has put on some fantastic moves and is looking to repeat it again for the lead of the race. Of course, this is just provisionally, as these two have not made any pit stops as of yet. The 2 Aston Martins running in the podium places at the moment, with Blue just right behind Brian. Will need to hopefully jump into the pits in the next few laps, but looks like they're trying to extend their stint, but they're coming up against some traffic with Mitch, so hopefully they can get that pass done and keep the lap times going and get some moves done later in the race here.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start so far. I mean, we're 14 laps in, almost halfway, and these guys are out here. They just look like they're almost at war, and Blue's not far behind them, but we've got to remember both the Astons here do have those penalties. But Trio Kev just sitting in there. He's about 3 seconds behind this group, but he does not have any penalties. So that's another interesting thing to put into the equation. Then followed by Naya and Crude, who both also have penalties, but they're a bit further back. When do you expect to see these guys all stopping? As we do see Brian's going to get the move on Mitchell. Gets it through cleanly.
Yeah, well done from Brian. He's carving through the grid tonight, and he's putting on a performance that is very, very good. But we'll see how he goes, as if he can build up that gap so that he doesn't get impacted by his 3-second penalty that he's received throughout the race so far. Looks like Sonny Bray also made a move on Governor to boot as well, but Gov might be able to get it back onto the start-finish. Let's see if he can make the move. Does have the DRS open. Is looking to maybe look to the inside. Sonny Bray does move quite late, potentially, but doesn't look like Gov is in touching distance to make the move this time around. We'll need to settle for position number 14 as Minmay makes the move on Patrick to get up to position number 18. So hopefully he can get further up the grid and maybe extend his stint to potentially wait for a safety car or something. Could be banking on one of those. So let's see who else needs to make pit stops, as it looks like we have some more penalties. Just to quickly rattle off while we're here, we've got Brian on a 3-second, Blue on a 3-second, Naya still in that 3-second from before, as well as Crude, Karma, Maui, Connor, and Com United. I think Flying Kiwi has received a new 3-second penalty from previously, and Devo on 16 seconds, and Minmay also on 3 seconds as well. We still need Connor, Crude, Naya, Eshe, Trio, Blue, Mitch, and Brian to still make a pit stop, as QuicksilverDec will make the move onto Naya Eshe to get position number 5. Of course, QuicksilverDec is our provisional leader at the moment, since he has made the pit stop over the rest of the grid, and Moe looks to make a move as well on Crew to Karma. So these guys really pushing to try to get some moves done. Super Duck and Communata make some moves on Connor, but will they get into some issues further up the field? No, it looks like they will be negotiating turn number 1 fine, but it does look like Connor might have had an issue there. He did lose a lot of places at that moment, but he is on the older compound tires there, on the hards there, so he'll need to go to the pits and change his boots maybe in the next few laps.
Yeah, I'd have to think so. There's not many boys left out there on those older tyres now. Devo did pit on that lap 1, same with Muscles Big, so theirs are getting pretty old too. Be interesting to see how much longer they go, as Sonny Bray's gone and got a 3-second as well. The board is just absolutely filled with penalties at the current time. A late safety car would very much hurt a lot of people and help a select few at this time.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
We'll just have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, 100% agree, Dur. As looks like Trio Kev is looking to get a 2-stop underway. Sorry, no, this is his first stop of the race. My apologies. He is ducking into the pits. Do you think he's going for a 1-stop? He's chucking on the medium compound tires, so he'll need to extend these mediums for 12 laps. Could be a shout, but very, very difficult on this track.
Yeah, I feel like that's also setup dependent. If you've got the right setup, I very much could see him making a 1-stop from this point. Same with Quicksilver out the front, up there. I think they could definitely do it. Probably Janet Lee as well. A lot of the other guys, I think it'd be tight for. And there's, from what we've seen so far, I think there's a decent chance of getting a puncture when you get that higher tyre wear. But as we do see Connor and Devo have dove into the pits, I believe Connor's just on his way out now, and Devo's just about to head out as well now.
Yes, you are correct.
Interesting to see Marsden's in as well, so they've all made their stops on the mediums, as well as so did Crude. I'd say Crude's on a 1-stop as well. We'll just have to wait and see how that pans out for him, as they're a fair way down the field at the current time.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see when Brian's going to pit, because these front runners at the moment, the front three of Brian, Mitch, and Blue, are on very, very old hard compound tyres, and this is the kind of point where we saw Lamb come into some issues and get a puncture at this stage of the race with these old hard compound tyres. So they might just need to be a little bit cautious, a little bit aware of their tyre wear, and hopefully they can make it to the pits in time on this lap and not run into any issues. But it looks like QuicksilverDec is looking to potentially have a move on Blue. No, that is a lapped Ferrari that is behind Blue. Looks like that will be Muzz trying to unlap himself from the Aston Martin, but of course not necessary for them to do, and Blue is not obliged to give way to let the Ferrari through, as he is on further ahead in his race.
Yeah, I think he'll also be getting blue flags from his own teammate of Quicksilver now, as Quicksilver's coming up on the rear of him. We've got to remember here, though, that Blue, Mitchell, and Bry all yet to pit, and Quicksilver is on their rear. I think staying out for so long is really hurting Bry and Mitchell, as they were P2, P3 now, and P3, P4, I should say, and I think they're going to fall well down the order when they do decide to pit. Maybe they'll be able to slot in front of Soup, but I'd have to say very unlikely, as we do see Blues into the pits.
Yeah, Blue's finally...
Where will he come out?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. He's finally decided to change over those old hard compound tyres for the mediums. He'll need to jump on. It looks like he is going for that 1-stop. Moe will make the move up into position number 4 and grab that from Blue. But yeah, I agree. I think the long runners on these medium compound, on these harder compound tyres have come off second best, as it looks like Drew has made a move onto Gov, and he is ducking into the pits to change those boots. There's a lot of movement in this pit lane tonight, in these last probably 5 to 10 laps, as everyone's trying to figure out what the strategy is. Everyone's trying to negotiate all these different types of strategies, as they don't want to get caught in dirty air. It's really difficult to make the move, so very, very active pit lane tonight, and hopefully we can make do and go through without any issues getting into the latter stages of the race. The thing is, though, you have a little bit of a pace difference between the drivers that you'll be up against, because of the different compounds, the different tire wear, the stint that you're on. So everyone's just kind of got to be a little bit aware of each other and what each other's tire wear will be on for the remaining few sections of this race.
Yeah, as we do see Mitchell and Brian both come into the pits, and unfortunately Blue, he really lost out some positions there by pitting so late. He come out all the way behind the 2 McLarens, but he is does have a massive tyre offset to him, but we'll just have to wait. As where's Brian going to come out? Is he going to be in P3? Looks like he is. He's going to hold P3 out of that, so... But he has come out 10 seconds behind Moe, which I can't imagine is ideal. As we do see Mitch must have had a bit of a slow stop or something, because he's come out all the way back at Sunny Bray now. I didn't think he was quite that far behind Brian, but he is back behind the McLarens, and he's going to have to get past Blue before he even thinks about battling with Bry. And that is still a very long way up the road.
Yeah, it's a
What's
long.
your thoughts?
It's a long ways away there, Dirt, as we look like Min May is taking another stop. Might have had a drive-through penalty, unfortunately, so... oh no, he did put on some new medium compound tyres. So, yeah, unfortunate for Mitch, he did actually get the unfortunate end of that trade, as we look like there's some moves going on at the back here. Looks like Patrick has made a move onto Devo for position number 18 into turn 1 there for the start-finish, and we'll try to chase down Min May for position number 17. But let's focus on the front runners. QuicksilverDec has absolutely put a fantastic performance here tonight, as he is in position number 1 and will look to drive away and potentially gain the win, of course, if there's no issues going into the latter stages of this race. Moe has put in a great performance as well in position number 2, and Brian has been carving through the field. He's on the medium compound tyres. I fully expect him to chase down Moe for that P2 position. They both do have penalties. I assume they're both 3 seconds, and they are indeed. So that could be an interesting battle to keep our eyes peeled on, and we'll see how they go. It looks like there's a battle here for position number 8, as Mitchell has made a move on Sunny Bray, but he's again trying to fight into sector number 2. Sunny Bray has been really ambitious in this section of racetrack tonight. He's been loving the battles in this middle sector. You say you can't fight on this racetrack? I will show you how it's done, ladies and gents. As he going into the inside there on position number 8 against Mitchell. Great move from Sunny Bray. What a drive he's put on tonight so far. He's been absolutely spot on, lights out from the get-go, fighting in this racetrack the entire way through. What is dirty air to this man? He's been absolutely putting on a clinic, but Mitchell might have another sniff. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get a move done on this occasion, as we do have an onboard for this lap. I will leave it over to your capable hands, Dirt, to give us all the details and nooks and crannies when SJ does come around to start his lap for number 23. But it looks like there's another move going on at the front. Com United has ducked into the pits, but it looks like Blue is trying to get a move on Jenneth Lee and is ducking into turn 1, gets the inside line and gets the move done and dusted to go up to position number 5. But I'll hand it over to you, Durr. We're going to jump on board with Gov for a lap of Qatar here at LaSalle International Circuit.
Rightio. So we've got... Looks like Trio Kev's going to try and make a move with him side by side into the final corner. They're both going to have DRS and battery. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get the move on Connor, but it does look like Gov's going to lose out on the position to Trio Kev. Trio Kev and Connor are going to go too wide just in front of him here. Fortunate for Gov there to lose out on the position and not be able to catch Connor. But he keeps progressing. He's just going through the corners now, staying on their rear. He's only about 4/10 behind now. But he's just being able to watch these two go too wide here. I think he'll be hoping for a mistake and just make an easy position for him rather than him having to fight it. He does have to run a little bit wide there to try and avoid the back of Trio Kev. In 6th gear. Back down to 3rd through there, and he's just really sticking to the back of him at the moment, making it through into sector 2 at the moment, following him round the hairpin, back onto the battery, up the gears. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make a move anytime soon, but he should have DRS, and we'll have to see if he is close enough in order to make a move on that final straight. It's not looking like it at this point. He does burn a little bit of battery through there. Back up the gears, round the fast left-hander, through the detection zone, coming up to the final corner, gets back onto it, burning the battery. He's going to open up that rear wing in a few seconds. He's got the rear wing open, burning every bit of battery he has. Doesn't look like he's going to get any of them before the first corner. Back over to you, Chaos.
Thank you very much, Dirt. Looks like Trio Kev did get the move done on Connor to boot as well, so great move from him. As we look like we do have some yellow flags in Sector 2. Seems to be some battling going on with a Haas involved. Seems to be Jenneth Lee and Mitchell going side by side, and Mitchell says, give me that position, mate. I want position number 6. I need to chase down my teammate, as QuicksilverDec is in position number 5. So great performance from the Alpines, but it looks like the Aston Martins do have one better at the moment. They're in position number 3 and 4. And as I mentioned before, Brian will be chasing down our P2 position holder at the moment. Moe does look like to be in that penalty point of 3 seconds, but Brian will have a 3 seconds for himself. But Mitch has made a move on Soup, unless they've done some team orders there over at Alpine, and Soup has just given up that place to Mitch. He is on the older 12-lap harder compound tires, and Mitch is on 4-lap old medium, so it makes sense for them to switch. But I'm not sure Soup would have enjoyed doing that, as he's not one to give up position quite easily here.
Yeah, it's been a tough race across the board here by the seams of it. A lot of battling going on. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of passing, and when it is, there's a lot of position trading. But I don't think have we looked at the position changes at all tonight?
No, I have not. Thank you very much
thank
you very much for switching on to that. Our biggest gain so far has been Drew Zilla. He's up 7 positions, sorry. But we've actually got some big losers here with Trio Kev and Patrick, both down 10 positions from their starts. Devo is also down 8 positions from the start as well. Looks like our next best position gains. Sunny Bray, Crude Karma, QuicksilverDec, all on 4 positions gained. But of course, my eyes are on Brian for getting up 3 positions, and we'll look to close out, excuse me, the podium place position here tonight. And hopefully he can maybe potentially get a little bit more as he's getting closer and closer to Moe as the race has gone on. So hopefully he can maybe make the move on track. I think even if he sticks behind, he will secure position number 2. But I think every racing driver wants to make the move on track, and we'll see if they can get it done here at the Alpine team. Very, very good performance from both of them. So Blue up into position number 4. He is getting chased down by Mitchell, so might lose out on that position as we get to the end of the race. But as I said, my eyes are peeled on Brian and Moe for this battle for position number 2, as it looks like Brian is trying to look up the inside and get the move done, but Moe does take a lot of speed through that corner and is driving forward and through Sector 3. We'll see how they go as we go to the start-finish line here and see if Brian can make the move. He is 2 tenths behind, but it's all important to get the power down in this final turn. Looks to get a really nice power down there and gets the turn in. Let's see if they can get the move done. Let's see how Brian fares in this battle. DRS open wide. Is he going to go around the inside? Go around the inside? No, he chooses the outside line. Does have the better compound tires to get the grip, to get the move done on track. Brian up into position number 2 for Aston Martin. Really, really tidy move on Moe, and we'll look to maybe even trace down our leader as he looks to try to make a move as Mitch also side by side with Blue, but looks like he did have a little bit of a snap of oversteer going out of turn number 1, so we'll have to settle for position number 5 right now. But hopefully he can try to get a move done. Sunny Bray again side by side with the Sauber. Let's see if he can get another move done into Sector 1. Oh, a little bit of bumping and driving against each other. A little bit of side by side action as Sunny does finally get the move done. A little bit ambitious from both the drivers there, from Sunny and Drew, to go side by side into that turn there into Sector number 2. But Sunny yet again gets the move done in the middle of the racetrack. I wonder if he's even made a move on the start-finish line here, Joe. He's made a lot of moves in this Sector 2. He's really enjoying racing here at the LaSalle International Circuit tonight. So we'll see how he will go as the race near and rears its closing here, Joe. I'll hand it over to you for this lap.
Yeah, we're heading on with Sunny Bray, is that correct?
Yes, I was keeping my eyes put on Sunny Bray, but we can have a look at the front runners here, as it looks like Mitch is going to try and make a move on Blue. Has a lot of speed going into this turn. Wow, Blue really aggressive defense. Mitch going really deep into that turn, taking a lot of speed there, and Blue will hold into position number 4, but that looks very aggressive defensive move from Blue.
Yeah, I think it was a bit aggressive across the board from the pair of them there. They are very much at war. I do believe that it's Blue trying to hold up Mitchell so that he can't get in within range of Bry, although I do think that'd be a very big ask for Mitchell at this point, but Blue is just racing this perfectly. Mitchell's trying his hardest to get past, and it just doesn't seem to be happening for him. So, but we're going through Sector 2 now, and it just looks like Mitch is just sitting off the back of him, not necessarily being aggressive through here, trying to save it for the line, as he does have a massive battery advantage over Blue. So we'll have to see if he can use that to his advantage, as I think he'll start looking to burn here, make sure he can get right up under the rear of him for that final corner. No, he's going to save it all for that. Oh, he had a look there, didn't quite go for it. I think we're going to see a lot of burn now. Try and see if he can get past. Here we go. Blue swerved in the middle of the track to sort of try and break that slipstream as Mitchell just walks past him on the outside basically, and Blue slides back in behind him.
Yeah, great.
What's your thoughts on that, Chaos?
Yeah, great move from Mitchell. He finally got the move done. He's been trying to get it done for a last few laps. Maybe a little bit ambitious defending from Blue, in my opinion, but we'll see if the stewards will have something to say as we're going into Sector 2, but we are not on board with Sunny Bray, so not sure if this will be a move that can be completed. It does seem like Mitch is recharging a lot in this section, but there is a slight chance for a move here for Blue. If he can get the power down, doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the car under wraps and get the grip to try to make a move into that section of racetrack. So we'll have to settle for P5 at the moment, but could potentially get the move done into the start-finish. But let's have a look at our front runners here, and let's have a chat about QuicksilverDec, as he's put on a clinic of a performance so far, but Brian is closing him down in these remaining few laps. Can he make the move? Even if he does make the move though, Brian, he will need to serve a 3-second time penalty, so not confirmed even if he does get the move done to get that position. So looks like QuicksilverDec will hold on to this position number 1 as we're heading into the final lap, as a matter of fact, of the Grand Prix. So fantastic news for those who are looking to get this race done and dusted, especially those heading at the back of the grid that want to just get out of this race car and move on with the next round as soon as possible. But Jeneth Lee looks to be in a battle with Naya Eshe and looks to get the move done, but Blue looks to also try to make the move as well on Mitchell here in sector number 1. Mitchell gets it back.
Hang on, Quicksilver's got a red fuel light.
Oh no, that's going to create all sorts of complexity, but Blue finally gets the move done here. Let's see if he's got that. He does have a red fuel light. You are spot on, Durr. That is a great pickup. Can he get to the end of this race? He is closing in for Sector 3, so he should be able to close it out. Let's see if we can jump on board and see if we can hear if his engine does eventually cut out as he goes to the start-finish. But we'll look to close out this Grand Prix here, if I'm being honest. He looks to be all fine and dandy here, as QuicksilverDec will be your Qatar Grand Prix victor here for Division number 4 at Rush Racing, with Brian picking up position number 2. Moe Nabs, with a great performance, will be picking up position number 3 for the Williams team. And Blue and Mitchell still fighting, still going at it to close out their race here tonight. Blue will have position number 4 at the line, but will have to give it up to Mitch, as he does have 6 seconds worth of penalties. Super Duff will close out position number 6, but does gain some positions on some other leaders who also had to serve some penalties. Jeneth up in position number 6, actually, as Blue will go down to 7th. Naya will go to position number 8. Looks like there was a move on the final line there for Drew on Sunny Bray. Those two are going at it all night. and they were finally got it sorted with Drew. That will get a position on Sonny Bray, who will have to get position number 10. But what a race tonight! There was a lot of battles, a lot of inter battles going on, and great performances from some certain teams. What are your thoughts on tonight's race so far, Der?
Yeah, Quicksilver just ran away with it once again. It was very interesting to see the battle between the Alpine and the Astons, but I really think that the Astons came out on top in the end of the day with Bry up there in P2. Yeah, I believe it was Moe in P3 as well, so great drive from him. Congratulations to your teammate there. Good work from him. But overall, race filled with lots of overtakes, lots of action, and lots of penalties.
Yeah, lots of penalties as we saw a lot of 3 seconds, 6 seconds, even a few 9s as well. I think someone even had an 18. I think it was Devo that had a lot of penalties to serve at the end as well. But really great race from QuicksilverDec, as he will be our race winner tonight. Sonny Bray will get driver of the day with the fastest lap going to Brian. Most overtakes was Flying Kiwi, and Governor was the cleanest driver. Rounding out the final positions, QuicksilverDec, your victor here tonight, with Brian will settle for position number 2, Moe in P3, Mitch number 4, and Super Duck in position 5. Obviously, we'll quickly rattle off the rest of the grid. Janet Lee in 6th, Blue in 7th, Naya 8th, Drewzilla 9th, Sunny Bray 10th, Crew Karma 11th, Trio Kev 12th, Flying Kiwi 13th, Com United 14th, Zagovna 15th, Patrick 16th, Connor 17th, Minmay 18th, Devo 19th, and Muzz in the final position there in P20. So, great race all around. We'll quickly jump over to the interviews, and we'll have a chat with our podium position places as they jump in. But any comments on that Grand Prix as we wait for them to jump in so we can have a chat with them?
Other than what I said before, not really anything else. I mean, there was quite a few penalties as we saw, and just a lot of hard racing. Yeah, but what do you have to say about it? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it was hard to keep a track of all the moves that was happening in terms of positions and whatnot, because there was a lot going on. But very entertaining race tonight. I very much enjoyed it. There were moments that I was a little bit out of sync, a little bit out of whack, trying to stay on top of all the penalties and tire changes and whatnot. But I enjoyed tonight. It was a good race. QuicksilverDec was very quick tonight, and I did enjoy seeing Moe get his. It's a really good start. I gave him a few tips before the race, so hopefully that maybe helped him out tonight. I'll ask the question and see if he can give us some info there. But yeah, good race tonight. I enjoyed it. We'll get our podium place sitters jumping into the comms box whenever they are able to do so. So yeah, any other comments while we wait for them to jump in here, Der?
Yeah, look, I'm sort of short on words now, but we have had our driver of the day make it in here, so we can start off with him. Would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I'll kick us off here. Sonny Bray, drive of the day, mate. Well done. Great drive. I think you ended up in position number 9 or 10. You might be able to confirm that for us. But we're watching your battles all night, Sonny. You're making some moves in Sector 2. You're making that your playground tonight, mate. Do you enjoy racing on Qatar? Sonny Bray, you there with us, mate? Looks like he might have had a disconnect, or maybe trying to plug in his mic, but
Is that working now? Sorry, is that working now?
Yeah, you're on, Sonny.
Okay.
How'd you feel about tonight, mate?
It was really good. I had some really good battles with some people. Particularly the 2 kick salvers, they were really good. My teammate, I gave me a pretty good run for my money. I went deep into turn 1 on one of the corners. Forgot my braking zone, but yeah, it was pretty good race. So debut P10. It's not my favorite track, so hopefully more to come.
Well, either way, you drove a fantastic race. We'll keep a keen eye on you for the majority of the night, and you're making some really nice moves. there seemed to be there might have been some argy-bargy situations that potentially could have happened specifically with one of the Saubers at the end there. Do you think maybe you'll have to have a chat to the stewards at some point this week?
I didn't make contact with the Sauber at all. I think I made contact with an Alpine, but he returned the position.
Beautiful.
That was...
So you don't think you'll have a chat with the stewards?
No, not with a kick Sauber. I did not have contact with a kick Sauber today.
No worries.
Unless my point of view says differently, but I'd like to see the other point of view before making a say on what happened.
No, understood. I might have my ducks in a row wrong. I thought it was a Sauber, but it might have been that Alpine. There was a battle that we did jump on board with. There was a little bit of side.
Yeah, we went side by side through the first sector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the one you're talking about. I went around the outside and got pushed wide. Yep.
Okay, cool. So, anyways, we'll leave that for the stewards to discuss if need be. But other than that, you drove fantastically well. You were cutting through the field, so well done tonight, mate. You are the driver.
Thank you. You're an awesome commentator, so I really appreciate that.
Thanks, mate. I'm trying my best, but I'll hand it over to Dur and see if he's got any questions for you, mate, as well.
Yeah, congratulations on driver of the day today, Sonny. On your debut, especially. Are you looking forward for Mexico?
Mexico, yes, one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully, looking for more positions on that one.
Do you feel like you could possibly end up on the podium there, even because you did show some real hard racing, and it did seem like you have a chance at really having some pace in this division?
Well, I used to be really close with Quicksilver, so I'd like to see if I could get up to his pace around some other tracks. So that it'll be something to look forward to. I'm not going to say that I am when I might not be, but it's always a 50-50. You never know until you're on qualifying.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Was there anything that was really memorable from tonight's race?
Well, when me and the Alpine, even though he was on fresh tires, he still gave me, and I was on the old tires, he gave me a clean battle. It was sportsmanship. He handed back the position after making an error, which that is so memorable, just showing off how this league really performs under pressure. He could have lost more positions at the end of the race. He probably could have gained more if he just didn't give it back, but that just shows that he cares.
Yeah, that's very great to hear. And welcome to Rush Racing Div4.
Thank you. Awesome, thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
See you in Mexico.
See you in Mexico.
Will do. Thanks, Sonny, bro. Appreciate it, mate. He was our driver of the day here for the race tonight. But let's jump onto our podium place positions and let's have a chat with our position number 3 holder, Moe. You had a fantastic start, drove off really, really nice. Did any of the tips help out tonight by any chance that we maybe had a discussion about before the race, if you know what I mean?
Oh, mate, you're a legend. I appreciate all. I appreciate all the tips you've done. Even all the practices we've done together helped a lot, Kels. Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, you're helping me, I'll help you. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? It's great for us to help each other out to be a little bit more competitive. But let's talk about your race tonight. You put on a great performance. Unfortunate to get the 3 second earlier on that maybe would have hampered you. Did you kind of knew in the back of your mind you had that 3 seconds so you didn't fight it as hard with Brian when he made the move into turn 1?
No, those tires were just they were too quick at the end. Those mediums, maybe with the low fuel, and yeah, he was just too quick. I knew that wasn't my battle. I was happy with the P3 at the end. I pitted pretty early on the hards as well, and yeah, overall I'm happy with the race. I'm happy with the result. It's been a while since I've been on the podium, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, well, drove a fantastic race tonight, and you put in a great performance. There was a period of time where maybe you could have potentially gained a little bit more time to maybe QuicksilverDec and maybe that first stint. I'm not sure if you remember what I'm remembering, but do you think maybe there was maybe some missed opportunities? You could feel yourself maybe getting further up the grid tonight, or you're happy with the performance that you put in tonight?
No, look, I tried to stay in his DRS in the opening lap or two, and he was just too quick. He was just too good today. I tried. I gave him my best, but no, I couldn't keep up with him, man.
That's all right. Look, in my perspective, you've put in a fantastic performance, Moe. So well done to you, mate. Position 3 is fantastic, and it's great to have a chat with you on the podium. So we'll see how we go next week, and I'll hand it over to Joe if he's got any questions for you, mate.
Yeah, congratulations on the result today. Does it feel good to be back up around the top again?
Yes, I've had a few hard races recently, finishing pretty low down the order, and I wasn't happy with my performances. So I've been trying to keep the practices up in the last couple of weeks. So last week I got a P5 and this week P3. So yeah, I'm happy with those results, definitely.
Yeah, that's very good to see you back hitting form again, because it did seem at the start that you were going to be very much one of the really competitive drivers in this division, but there was a bit of a fall off in form, but glad to see you back up in there and racing hard again. Great to have you on the podium. Are you keen for Mexico?
Yeah, I like Mexico. It's a good track. It's going to be exciting, but I'm not sure. I haven't practiced Mexico at all in a while, so I'm not sure how I'm going to go, to be honest. But looking forward to it, of course.
Yeah, that's understandable. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, the whole Williams team, especially Kaus. He's been helping me a lot. We've been doing a lot of practices together,
Fire up.
so that's been good and fun. It's been helping me a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the great thing about having such a big team is you're able to get in and do practices with people realistically 90% of the time. There'll always be someone that'll pull up their hand and say, "Yep, let's go practice," and
Yeah.
that's the advantage.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we move on?
Congratulations to Quicksilver and Brian. They drove a good race, and yeah, see you guys next week in Mexico.
Yeah, thank you. Best of luck next week, and we'll keep moving now. Do you want to
Thanks,
take
mate.
us away for the next one, Chaos?
Yes, I will. Thanks very much, Moe, and it's great to be. And I'll just quickly just make a comment and say it's great to be a part of a team that's been ran so fantastically well by Dito. I'll give him his flowers there as well. Always helping us out with setups and putting us in positions where we need to improve and giving us all the feedback and information that we need to go into the next round. So shout out to Dito, shout out to Moe. Great team, Williams. If you want to jump over, feel free to let us know. We'll see, give us your CC and resume. We'll review. But anyway, let's move on to our next position and the final one of that, and that is position number. Sorry, no, my apologies. Brian is next up. I'm thinking Moe had position 2. Brian, well done tonight, mate. You were cutting through the field tonight. I'll be honest. You were doing fantastically well. I remember you were really racy on those hard compound tires, making move. I think it was on Soup as well, who was on the mediums. You made a lot of moves that were very nice to watch and good to see. In sector 2, also into turn 1. How'd you feel tonight, mate? You seem like you're on fire out there.
I was a bit devastated after quali. I invalidated, I think, 3 times. I had a much faster lap. Obviously put me in. I think it was P6, but I knew I had a hell of a lot of pace on the track, so I used it. Held on. No risky moves. I tried not to get any pens, limited to just the one, and then. Yeah, just went as hard as I could and tried to make a Quicksilver sweat, So it was a good race. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you seem to be absolutely lights out in the field, as I remember, as I referenced to before. You made some really nice moves. There was a period of time where you were stuck behind Moe for a little bit. Did you kind of feel like the dirty air was kind of holding you back? I think you made the move from memory going into the start of Sector 3 into the triple right-hander. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Brian.
I tried to, but the dirty air just it made it way too sketchy. So I think I just waited for the straight because I knew that I had more pace. So all I had to do was just wait, get a really good exit out on the very last corner, and it was essentially easy from there. But yeah, I didn't want to risk too much, with anything too sketchy. So yeah, I just bided my time as much as I could. But I think if I got around a little bit sooner, I might have been right on Quicksilver's gearbox, but we'll never know. So that's all right.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I have a bit of I wouldn't say bizarre, but maybe one that you might not be able to answer. I remember seeing your teammate, Blue, getting into some really racy incidents, we'll say, with Mitchell. Were you in the comms with him? Was there any sort of dialogue that you heard during those battles? Any sort of insights you can give us there?
Oh, it was it was very racy. He tried to work his way through. I think there was just a couple of unlucky touches. I'm not sure like who was at fault. Like it wasn't anything crazy in the comms box. They were in the VC, but you know we were pretty confident in our pace tonight. So he tried to get closer up there and you know, little small incidents happen, you know, that's just racing, but he tried, he did. And I must commend him because he did also let me through because he knew I had the pace, so he let me have it and just go at it. So, yeah, I have to thank him for that as well.
Yeah, it's great to see us get the insights on other teams and how they function, so it's good to see that you guys are working well together, and thanks for giving us that info. You drove a great race tonight, Brian. For me, you were my driver of the day. You cut through the field and got really positive position for yourself and your team. So well done. I'll hand it over to Durr, see if he's got any questions for you, mate. But well done tonight.
I appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome to the comms box and congratulations on P2. I don't really have too many questions here. I'll just probably ask the same one that I did for everyone else. How are you feeling about Mexico next week?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be making Quicksilver sweat on Mexico. I haven't run it in a very long time. I don't know where my time's at. I've no idea what my pace is like. So I'm just going to have to hit some practice pretty hard over the Easter weekend sort of thing. See where we're at. You know, Watan's going to help me improve, give me some strategies and everything else. And we'll just try and build on top of that and, you know, try and still fight for the top, really. Yeah. I don't have any more else on Mexico. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, that's understandable. Is it a really memorable battle that you had tonight? Like specifically one person or just the whole race or yeah, if you get what I'm saying.
I think Moe actually did a pretty good job of just keeping me behind him for a while. So that was cool because I didn't want to risk his race and mine. So that one was probably the one of the longer ones. Otherwise, yeah, the start few laps were just, you know, trying to settle in and then get past people. But yeah, I appreciate Noe not making it too hard. And then, yeah, we ended up where we are. So, yeah, definitely good job to Moe for hanging on to P3 and excellent work for Quicksilver hanging on to the P1 there still.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us tonight in the comms box. Congratulations on the P2 and best of luck to you next week in Mexico.
Awesome. Appreciate that, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Beautiful. Thanks, Brian. Well done tonight, mate. You drove fantastically well. We'll jump on board, though, with our position number 1 driver. The guy who was better than the rest. Got the pole position, I think, as well, if I'm not mistaken. And took away with the victory. QuicksilverDec, pole position, position number 1, Grand Slam from my perspective. Well done tonight. Any sort of initial comments and thoughts from that race?
Yeah, thanks. Not many comments. Took out pole, got a massive tow through sector 3, which helps. But yeah, started the race, got through ahead of turn 1, and yeah, just got ahead. I think the inverse strategy we had worked really well. We started on the mediums, everyone else was pretty much on the hards. It gave us a great launch off the line. Great pace for the first 10 or so laps, and I guess that just set us up for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it was a very, very experienced drive that you did tonight. I was keeping my eye peeled on the front there, but there was a lot going on in the middle stint of the race. But you were setting the pace. You were very, very quick. You did have a slightly later pit stop to Moe. I think Moe did pit. It was lap. Excuse me. I think it was like lap 11 or maybe 10, and you did pit a little bit later. Were you always planning to? Did you have like a target that you were always aiming for the entire time, or did you kind of adapt to what Moe did?
Yeah, no, I'd say the strategy was very dynamic. We were originally going to pit around the same time. Latest was lap 10, we were thinking, but we saw he got held up behind a Mercedes, so we stayed out a few extra laps. We were still pulling the gap to P2, so we just felt that it would be better to leave it till later, and looked like that was the right call.
Yeah, it was very, very switched on there, and did look like the correct call to make. But yeah, great race. I'm trying to think of like some overtakes that you did. I think there was one that you did when you did your first pit stop, and I think you had to make a move. I forget who it was, but it was into turn one, very tidy. It was a very, very experienced drive that I've seen out there. So well done to you, mate. Position number 1, and of course pole position as well. Got the Grand Prix victory. So Grand Slam for you, full points for you, and yeah, well done tonight. I'll hand it over to Durr, see if he's got any questions for you. But yeah, great drive, well done tonight, mate.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, congratulations on P1 tonight, Quicksilver. Is that a much better result after how Hungary unfortunately finished for you?
Well, yeah, P1 is always better than any other position, really. Hungary was a great race. Then, unfortunately, we just got to drive through under the safety car, which didn't work in our favor. We got sent down halfway through the pack, then got a 10 seconds in the pit lane. Got that removed, but obviously, still a much better result, and I'm glad I could just hold the points in for the team.
Yeah, it did really hurt you in the championship standings now, but are you feeling a lot more confident now after this week?
Very confident. Obviously, as Brian said, he had me sweating for about the last 10 laps or so. He was rapid on those mediums. He didn't lose pace throughout that entire stint. But hopefully, in the next few weeks, I slow down a bit. We get a few more battles, and yeah, hopefully a few more wins under my belt.
Yeah, that's very great to hear. How do you feel about Mexico next week?
Oh, I don't really have any thoughts on Mexico. Haven't done much practice around there at all, really. But yeah, we'll see how our pace is throughout the week, I guess.
Yeah, that's understandable. Do you think that with your current pace, being up the front a lot of races now, well, a lot of races, you've been very much on the podium for a fair few races there. Do you think that you could push possibly the constructors if you can get a bit of assistance there from your teammate, my friend Muzz?
Yeah, Muzz has strong pace around some circuits. It's just very unfortunate that he gets caught up in a lot of incidents in lap 1. But I reckon once he starts to avoid those and gets those laps in, we could definitely try pushing for that constructors later in the season.
Yeah, very much so. We are only just gone past the halfway point. This is the first race of the second half, so still plenty of races to go, plenty of points to be scored, and plenty more race wins for you, I'm sure you hope.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and congratulations. One last thing. Was there anyone you'd like to thank for the win tonight?
No, you always catch me thanking Lamb every single week, getting in the comms box, giving me tips throughout the week, giving me very good strategy calls. I'd say he is definitely one to thank.
Yeah, as I'll say every week that someone thanks Lamb, I don't know how you put up with him, but anyway, any chance I can get, I'll bag out
Great lad.
Lamb. He is very much. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck next week.
Thank you. Forza Ferrari.
And I'll hand it back over to you now, Chaos.
Thanks, Durr. Yeah, well done tonight. Quicksilver, very, very competitive race all around. Quicksilver will be your Grand Prix victor and also got the pole position in qualifying as well. So great performance from him. Very, very interesting night of racing. There was a lot of battles. I think Sonny Bray was someone who was very, very racy tonight, as well as Brian. I mentioned him as well. Of course, very, very competitive race, and one to maybe even watch back. But keep your eyes peeled for the race tomorrow, as we'll have our Division 5 runners. Myself and Durr will be going head-to-head into Turn 1. I fully expect to use him as my brake bias into Turn 1.
This bloke.
And I'll be going for his front wing and plate for the taking. But no, if you guys want to follow some more F1 action, we'll be racing tomorrow for Div 5. As I mentioned, both myself and Durr will be racing in that. But any final comments you want to make here, Durr, before we close out tonight's stream?
I'm not sure you'll make it past Turn 1. But anyway, very, very action-filled race. Lots of pace on show. Amazing race, in my opinion. Yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for that, Durr. And of course, thank you for jumping into the comms box with me. It's been a pleasure, and I appreciate you giving up your time, as well as to Connor as well. I know he jumped in for qualifying, but had to duck out to help his team in the race tonight. But yeah, so thank you very much. Before we close out tonight, quick shout out to Sim Racing Centre, Sim Lab, and Pagdian Simulation Experts. All three fantastic sponsors that help us out here at Rush Racing, so that we can put on a fantastic product for you to watch and spectate. Of course, my name has been Kaus, your host tonight. I appreciate all the kind comments and words that people have given here tonight. But from me and the team over at Rush Racing League, we thank you very much for sticking around for tonight's race. But don't go anywhere. We'll see you tomorrow for the Div 5 action at Qatar. Thank you very much, and all the best.